And welcome Twitch, welcome Slow Beef, welcome all to Retsutalk episode 44. Howdy, hi, hello, what's up?
Not too much. Yourself?
Not a whole lot. What a busy week it's been.
I know, it's been crazy.
In the world of Let's Play and internet culture.
Tell me about it.
I don't even know where to start. I originally thought our whole podcast would focus on a legendary annual event on the internet known as formerly VGA, now VGX, because that's more extreme.
I used to work for Spike, and I reached out to one of the producers I used to work with because I wanted to talk to him about VGX. So we were talking a bit, but he hasn't gotten back to me on the whole VGX thing. I don't know
because he quit.
I don't know if he wants to like own up to that or like just kind of let that go, you know, or.
Did you watch any of the VG? I know you didn't watch it live, but did you see any of it after the fact?
Yeah, I was at a friend's wedding, but I saw somebody had a compilation of all the cringeworthy moments from it.
So the entire show?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. I don't even know where to start with that thing. It wasn't, I don't think bad is the right word for it, so it was fascinating. A fascinating train wreck is how I would describe it.
It seemed like it. Who is the host? I forget.
Joel McHale. He's the host of The Soup. He's on Community. Has a lot of jobs. Odd choice for a video game awards host, though.
Well, I think the thing is that, you know, Spike's a TV station, obviously, first and foremost. So they want on-air talent, as it were, you know? So
someone with clout, someone with a draw of some sort.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know,
and who's charismatic and used to being on camera.
Right. When you're selling this to advertisers and stuff, you know, a lot of them aren't huge video game people, even ones who have, you know, I mean, they're ad agencies and stuff. So you don't want to say, oh, we got, I don't know, PewDiePie or whatever. Although he was on there, I heard. But,
he was on there. Yes, they did get him.
I didn't see that part of it, but, you know,
it was exactly what you would expect.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
It was just like a minute or two of a cam or a face cam-y thing that made no sense. He yelled at it and then was like, "To see more, come to my channel." Wait.
They didn't even fly him out?
Oh, no. It was just, it was like watching a YouTube video pretty much.
Oh, God almighty.
The structure of the show made no sense. Because they have the awkward banter, then they talk about trailers for games that are coming out, which doesn't seem like it quite belongs on something that you call an award show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw like a talk show-ish segment of it, looked like, where he was sitting down and stuff. And
then they would randomly do this like viral video clip thing, most of which were pretty terrible. And I think PewDiePie's thing was part of that.
Why?
And then they would have developers come on randomly. Sometimes they would sit on a couch. Sometimes they would stand up in front of the couch to talk.
See, though, I mean, the previous ones, VGA, they weren't as train wrecky, but they had things to them. Like Samuel Jackson, I think, was it one of them? Or did he host it, or is maybe a guest or something?
Big video game player. Yeah, I think he hosted it last year or the year before. And that was on TV and not just internet streamed.
Right, so I guess the ratings must have sucked. But, like, I don't know that they know who they want to market to exactly, you know, because...
Yeah, that's what I was wondering watching. I was like, who is this for?
Well, the problem is that, you know, I think...
Like, I guess they're trying to appeal to a whole lot of different people, and in doing that, appeal to no one?
Well, the problem is that, you know, as far as I know, this is, quote-unquote, the biggest, or was the biggest, VGA, that is, the biggest TV kind of awards, broadcast video game awards kind of show, you know?
Yeah.
But Spike is branded as, like, for lack of a better term, like a men's channel. It's like Maxim for TV, or, you know what I mean?
Sure.
So you're kind of stuck in this weird loop where it's like, we're trying to broadcast to video gamers, but we also have this thing. So you'd have like weird things where like they'd write the winners of the awards on like women in bikinis and such, which like...
Of course.
Yeah, which is not... I don't know. I'm not really into women with writing on them. But, like, you know, but maybe that's like a fetish or something they were catering to. But either way, it just sort of like, what?
Yeah, appeal to everyone.
It's a lot of questionable decisions, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And having, you know, having worked at MTV Networks before, I'm not really surprised by that because, and honestly, big corporate, it happens a lot in media where it's like, person X is talking in person Y's ear, or sometimes the hand's not talking to the arm, or however that expression goes, you know? And it kind of becomes this jumbled mishmash of trying to please everybody in the corporate office, you know? So it didn't ever seem like it had much direction. And this just seemed like, okay, let's just go internet only. And now it's just kind of a clusterfuck. You know? Because Mikhail joked a couple times in that cringe video about...
A couple times?
Well...
he pretty much trolled the entire show. It was awesome. He was the best part of the show, hands down.
Well, he talked about being drunk a couple times. And
he asked a developer, were you high when you came up with the idea for this?
Oh, I saw that, yeah. But I think what was awkward, too, then, is, like, he'd want to continue the joke, and the developer would want to talk, and they ended up just talking over each other a lot.
There was zero on-air chemistry on the show.
Or the worst was when they were talking to those guys outside. I forget one game, and he's like...
The GTA 5 concert thing?
Yeah, and he's like, tell us a little something about yourself. And the guy's like, a little something about yourself.
Why was that one guy wearing pants that had a $60 price tag on them?
And maybe that's what the kids are wearing nowadays.
Do you pay $60 for pants ever?
I don't. I actually buy everything from the Salvation Army, so I certainly don't. Actually, I bought a $400 pair of pants for $20 there. You know,
nice.
Once 3 times through the laundry, it's okay then. Yeah. So that's the thing. I guess there's just no competition in terms of video game award shows. Like, there's Navigator.
Well, there's no competition. Well, no. I mean, can it be done good? That's what I'm wondering. Is there a way to make should a video games awards thing be a thing at all? Is it necessary? Because it's so driven. It's like all the award stuff that you do see for games is, done on the websites. You got GameSpot with their Game of the Year. Giant Bomb does their podcast countdown thing. And it usually works there, but on trying to turn it into a spectacle television event just doesn't work.
Something like the Emmys, the Golden Globes, the Oscars, that kind of thing. Like a ceremony.
And at the Oscars, just like they did on the VGX thing, you want to announce one nominee every 15 minutes or so for one category, but not do that in other categories. And have the categories come out of nowhere as well.
I think that's part of the problem, too, is that, like, nobody knows exactly what they want, because... if you want some grand ceremony like that, then you want an air of professionalism about it. But if you want to target an audience of
cash people,
13 to 18-year-old, then it's like, well, we don't want it professionalism. We want to show we're off the grain, a little wacky, a little crazy.
We're hip. We're with it. We know.
But when you try to do both at once like that, it ends up just kind of not really working.
A big old mess.
Yeah, basically. It's funny, though, that you bring up the notion of professionalism in video games because there's been some... I've been talking to some people, and I've heard some issues about that happening with esports, where, like, people aren't showing up for tournaments or, like, dropping out in the middle of stuff like that.
Maybe they have ACL injuries.
Well, that's the thing, right? Because these athletes, I suppose, or athletes or whatever, video game players, I don't know. Tournament level video game players, probably.
Athletes. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, athletes.
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 But like, they're the people you'd think most of all would want this sort of thing treated professionally, because that means more ads, and that means more sponsors, and that means this thing taken more seriously. But then, if you're not willing to take it kind of seriously yourself, then where are we left? You know what I mean?
It's just hard to do because at the end of the day, what it is a person playing a game.
Yeah, I hear ya. I mean,
you have the game action going on, and then you'll typically have, the face cammy thing with them just blankly playing the game and not saying anything.
But there is a market.
But how do you put an air of professionalism on something that has such kind of a goofy premise in the first place?
Well, there is a market for it, right?
Yeah, of course. People watch it.
Yeah, Let's Play kind of proves it, honestly, in a way.
I'm just saying, how do you inject professionalism into that? What does that even mean?
Well, it's kind of there in some aspects when you talk about like Evo tournaments and things like that,
Sure.
Because it is, an event. They have a venue, they have all that stuff for it, and, it's broadcast, or it's recorded and then broadcast after the fact, I think, But that's, I think, the question to both, like, the esports scene and to any notion of, like, a video game award show like that is, what do we ultimately want that to be? Like, if you could make a video game award show, A, would you? B, why? But C, what would you, what would it look like?
You gotta start with those tough questions.
Because I think maybe, like, if you took, like, the Oscars as a model or something like that, and you take it a step down from that, where it's not like a black tie event, but it's still an event, And you have, like, your various, like...
It's a celebration.
Sure. Like, you have your various music groups perform, you have your various clips being shown, and you don't try to do that kind of fake sort of, like, hey, we're wacky and crazy, we're off kilter, that kind of thing. I think that would probably go a long way, personally. But, that's why I don't host these things.
Maybe we should host these things.
God almighty.
We'll petition game trailers to let us host next year. Oh, speaking of game trailers, did you see that picture someone sent to us where right as PewDiePie's segment was popping up, whoever was running the game trailer stream, like it came from game trailers, said, "Hit mute now"?
No, I didn't.
Someone sent a picture with that.
Nice. That's awesome. Oh. Yeah.
That was wonderful.
But the VGX was a train wreck, so
yes,
I didn't miss anything.
Fun to watch train wreck. Easy to make fun of. They supposedly got 25,000 tweets, and I wondered how many of them were supportive.
You could track that, But I wonder, I heard actually Chip Cheesem and Voidburger did a counter stream type of thing on Ustream.
Yeah, they basically talked over the thing while it was airing.
I couldn't watch it, obviously, and I don't think they put the recording up yet.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, can you put that recording up anywhere? Without it being, I think, like Viacom?
Interesting segue. You certainly can't put it on YouTube nowadays. Viacom is pretty harsh about copyright stuff. So that's a tricky feat, basically. I think what you would probably have to do is rip the audio, find a Viacom kind of thing, and do like a YouTube doubler type of deal.
I think one thing some people do is they invert the video horizontally or flip it horizontally. And that somehow bypasses the content filter.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's automated. I'm kind of surprised Google hasn't gotten wise to that yet, because that's an old trick. But, I mean,
so someone's actually watching the video. Well, this doesn't actually look like the source content.
They should just flip it vertically, just because.
It doesn't look anything like it.
No, just make it upside down, because no one's, who gives a shit, really? Yeah. No, I'm just saying, though, too, like, just to avoid it altogether, because, again, Viacom's very protective of their copyrights in general, And Viacom owns MTV Network, which owns Spike. So I would say you'd have to do something where you say, like, this is just the audio, you have to go here to sync it, or something like that, Yeah. That's how I would do it, personally.
One of the funniest things I thought that happened during the show was they had a best indie game thing, and the game Gone Home won. And I have not played the game yet, but Twitter was apparently furious about that.
It's an odd choice for an indie game, because, I think, or of the year, because I think...
Well, it's odd that suddenly people decided to start taking the awards seriously at that point. This guy's what? Gone Home? The shit is this? Video games are dead!
This whole thing is a joke! Wait one fucking minute here.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Even for a joke, that's too far. Well, video gamers are obstinate. Who knew?
It's a surprise to everyone.
But it's not because I think, too, people who even like Gone Home a lot and support it a lot, I don't know that they'd call it Indie Game of the Year. But that having been said, I couldn't tell you what else was up, I wonder.
The only other one I remember was Papers, Please.
Papers, Please? I never played Gone Home, so I'm a bit of a disadvantage.
Yeah.
Papers, Please, I can see that not winning. As much as I like Papers, Please, it is kind of a one-trick pony. It's very good, though. It's a very good trick that it does, Gone Home, though, I've never played, but I've heard it's kind of an on-rails sort of experience,
Yeah, well, from what I understand, you kind of explore a house and a story develops from there. But it's not like there's no, guns, blood, and tits.
Right, I understand.
That usually make up your good games.
This would have been smart to have loaded up before the podcast, but I'm trying to bring up their nominees now.
I do remember Best 360 game was kind of an odd choice as well. I think, chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Brothers won Best 360 game.
What's interesting is Stanley Parable was up for Best Indie Game.
Oh.
Okay, here we go. So we have Gone Home, Kentucky Route Zero, so I don't really know anything about Papers, Please, and Stanley Parable. And just based on what I've seen, I think Stanley Parable probably would have been a pretty good contender there,
Yeah, Stanley Parable got called out on NPR, or talked about on NPR.
Yeah, it's certainly a unique enough game, What did they gave Grand Theft Auto 5 Game of the Year, right?
Yes.
I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer. That's another thing, too, is that...
Not surprising, yeah.
They want to err on the side of agreeing with people, and I think that's true of a lot of big game review things,
You think so?
I think so because, again, gamers tend to be very obstinate. So when you go against the grain and say something like, I haven't played it, but like, I don't know, Grand Theft Auto 5 was pretty disappointing. You piss off a ton of people who are just Grand Theft Auto fans.
The real draw of our podcast, by the way, is that we've never played any of the video games that we talk about.
No, that's not true. I did play, I played BioShock Infinite and,
that indie gem.
then Tomb Raider. I'm looking at the Game of the Year ones.
Yeah. Oh, you played Tomb Raider?
We played Tomb Raider at PAX.
Oh, that's right. Well, that doesn't count.
Well, okay.
You just saw the vaudevillian intro of Tomb Raider.
Well, all right. Having played both of them, how do you rank Grand Theft Auto 5 versus Last of Us?
I would put Last of Us higher than GTA 5.
What about Tomb Raider?
Below both of them.
I think we knew Super Mario 3D World wasn't winning. Like, it kind of came out right at the end there, you know?
Yeah. Well, actually, sales of 3D World have fallen a bit below expectations, I believe.
It's very good, though, right?
Again, I haven't played it, so consider this the most informed opinion. But yes, I hear it's quite good.
You know what killed me, too, is like, my wife yesterday was like, like you had I had a final yesterday. I had this really annoying class, and I had this big project at work that kind of ended yesterday. So she's like, you should treat yourself and get yourself like a PS4 or Xbox One. I'm like, yeah, I should. And then I'm like, I don't know.
But what am I going to play on?
I know. I think by the way, did you see the Xbox One heating problems? Just a quick aside.
I have not.
Apparently the GPU gets really hot and there's like all like these like terrible kind of artifacts while you're playing.
So when you're playing NBA Jam or NBA 2K14 and your player makes a lot of shots, they really get on fire.
Yes, basically. No, there's all like flashing.
It's heating up! Xbox explodes.
There's like flashing lights all over Dead Rising 3. Like really crazy stuff, you know.
Wow.
So that besides the fact that I wasn't really big on Xbox One to begin with, I like my 360, but I think I'm leaning PS4, but again, there's no games for either, so I'm kind of leaning neither.
Yeah, and some of the big titles that are coming up will also be available on PS3, like Watch Dogs, MGS5, I think are both on PS. Will both be available there.
That's true, yeah.
So, unless you want to share your experience playing both with PS4,
and there is a weird backwards compatibility thing they're doing, I think, with like.
In that there is none?
No. The PS, Sony says they're coming out with something, but it's not. A
compatibility adapter?
I think it's...
If you buy this PS3 and attach it to the back of the PS4, it becomes backwards compatible. If you put the game in the PS3.
Exactly, yes. once you glue it onto the PS4.
Yes.
There's like some digital upgrade thing you can buy apparently or something like that. Oh, that's it. It's a cloud gaming service called Gaikai, which I never quite understand this cloud computing insofar as it works for gaming, but apparently the cloud actually does the processing for you and streams the game to you. I just feel like for action heavy video games, I don't understand how network lag plays into
like
that.
Latency becomes an issue.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah, and I'm not 100% sure, is it that they, because Amazon's claiming they do this now too, by the by. They have a new thing called AppStream.
Well, I play all video games on my Kindle now.
Well, there you go. But they're claiming that, you can, use our API, make a game, and we'll stream it to mobile, we'll stream it to web, we'll stream it to whatever, device supports us, and you can play, and their demo is like a cartoon of a first-person shooter. Which again, though, I'm like, well, again, latency, all that stuff. Even with a single player type of thing, how the fuck is that supposed to work?
That's a fair question.
Thank you.
Could it possibly be that a video game company is talking out of its butt?
Possibly. And Amazon, too. Who knows, though? Maybe this cloud stuff, will totally work out, or maybe it'll...
It's a good chance for a cross-promotional thing with Amazon, because imagine playing Amazon Metroid Prime.
I can't. Oh my god, I have to make that. That's it. Instead of lore, you buy books.
If you get that 2-day delivery, a nude Samus delivers the game to you.
Nice.
Yeah, under 2 hours. 2 days.
Is there anything else you want to talk about with VGX before we move on to the next?
I don't think so. Reggie from Nintendo was on there. He looked incredibly uncomfortable.
Who the hell is Reggie from Nintendo?
He's Reggie.
Is that your friend from Nintendo? I don't know Reggie.
Everyone on the internet calls him Reggie.
Okay. Oh, is he like the guy who makes the announcements at E3 and shit like that?
He's kind of like a PR face of Nintendo. I forget what his exact position is, but he's Nintendo.
Okay.
But yeah, he looked like he was suffering from rigor mortis when he was on the show.
Well,
and that was pretty funny to me.
Well, I'm sure Mikhail helped them feel comfortable or whatever.
I'm just thumbing through the tweets that I sent out during this thing. #VGX.
That's our podcast where we just go over the social media posts we've made.
Well, it's more to remind me of what happened during the thing. Oh, there's going to be a re-release of Tomb Raider called Definitive Edition.
Yeah. Why?
I didn't know what was not definitive about the version I played.
Yeah, why don't you just work on Tomb Raider 2 already? Come on. Why can't
They are, aren't they?
Oh, are they? I heard it didn't sell that well, though.
It didn't. It fell below expectations, but...
Well, what the fuck were expectations? I mean,
sky high.
Jesus Christ. Oh, by the way, just a quick aside, I bought Dark Souls today.
Oh, on console or PC?
Console.
You don't have a PC yet, do you?
No, not yet. I'll probably get it for a PC, too, if I get it.
Well, when you purchase Dark Souls, you pretty much obligated to stream it.
Is that true? That come with the contract?
It's the new thing.
Well, this is actually a used copy, so I think whoever previously owned it.
Okay, well, you can get a used stream where someone else streamed through it, and you can just add your own stuff over it.
I think the way it works is now I have to stream it on theirs, or I have to get the digital license from them.
Okay, right.
But I have to be careful putting that stream up on YouTube nowadays, huh?
A second transition about...
That's right.
We're desperate to transition to this topic.
I'm actually not at all. But yeah, if you haven't heard, apparently Google is going nuts with the copyright stuff.
Yeah, and Nintendo is also back with their not takedowns, but matches.
Absolutely. We got hit for one video, which I'm kind of surprised because I think we should have gotten hit for it a long time ago.
Yeah, the Mad Men Newgrounds video.
Yeah.
But, Slobby, if those were our voices and talent over that, I said one thing, and I expect compensation.
We also plastered images of a Newgrounds sex game on top of it, so...
What if it was the makers of Meat and Fuck Kingdom who put the content ID match on it?
I would have given them all the
I would have not contested it, just for posterity.
Oh, well, we're not going to contest this because I think
no.
AMC did the claim, actually, if I remember correctly, and it's like, yeah, they absolutely do have that's fine, honestly.
And they didn't remove the video, it's just like any ads that play over it go to them now.
Yeah, exactly, which I'm fine with. The only thing that...
Which is fine.
And it happened too for, earlier, before all this, for the Conan the Barbarian video. But
yes.
what kind of annoyed me about that one is the claimant marked it so it only plays in certain regions. And you can't play it on mobile,
Arnie's very protective of his image.
I guess so. That's the one thing.
In certain countries.
So, Content ID match, I don't think is, the end of the world or anything by any stretch of the imagination for Let's Play. But what it kind of bugs me about the Content ID match is when the content owner then says also, okay, and I'm also going to restrict where your video can be viewed. That's kind of where I'm like, Yeah.
Where things are getting kind of shaky with this round of ID matches, though, is... You're getting some potentially erroneous claims, not from the developers themselves. So the matching is it seems to be mostly done based on the soundtrack and music playing during the clip. So you get these weird, what I'm guessing are middlemen who somehow license the music to the developer. But the revenue now goes to them and not the developer themselves.
That's right.
If that match goes through, is my understanding.
And not only that, but there's also these, umbrella companies or companies that have some link to the music company. So,
well, Umbrella has always been a villain in video games.
This is true. But, no, but, they do the content match, and they're, a few degrees divorced from the whole, content at all. You know what I mean?
Right.
This kind of goes back to what I was saying, where if, you have, any sort of, economic type of thing where there's a very low barrier for entry like that, people like this with a lot of money and things want to get in on it any way they can, and this is just easier for them, Well,
it's especially easier now because there's a whole wave of ID claims coming in.
Exactly, yeah.
Some of which are legit, but it's easy to kind of sneak in there and say, yeah, I got this too.
What I was thinking, is, if it was the game company, if Nintendo does a content ID on your video, okay, that's kind of their prerogative.
Right. What's odd is that only one of my Galaxy videos got content ID'd. And I thought it was some automated thing, but just the one.
No, I think it is some automated thing, but the thing is that it's not like a perfect science, you know what I mean? They have to kind of estimate from what they're seeing is this like footage of this, and that's kind of tricky.
Well, I think with Nintendo though, it's still based primarily on the music. Because when I checked, like even a Yoshi's Island stream I did recently that I scheduled to go up later, that got ID matched as well, and it said soundtrack by Nintendo starting here, and same thing for the Galaxy video. So why isn't that across all of them? That's what I'm confused about.
I think soundtrack's probably a lot easier to content match than video.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, because you talk about, too, if you have, like, something with a different level of compression than the source, or a different type of compression even, I have to imagine that's actually pretty tricky to tell, for a computer to tell that these two are actually the same video. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but, I work hard to come up with those opening lines in every Galaxy video, and to have my work stripped from me is professionally devastating.
What you should do is you should find people who make space puns and content ID them, But the thing I was saying though is, so if Nintendo or somebody content IDs your video, fine, whatever. But if it's one of these weird companies that doesn't seem to own the soundtrack, I would almost say it's worth it to take down the video, because I don't think you want to show these people that this is a viable way for you to make money. Do you know what I mean? Oh, yeah,
for sure.
Like, game companies are different. Game companies, you don't want to piss them off because they are holding the keys to the kingdom here. You know what I mean?
Sure.
These third-party people and stuff who are just, like, kind of, I wouldn't say opportunistic, because maybe some of them really do have a legit claim, but if you kind of say, like, no, this is not a viable way to make revenue, then they'll stop doing it. They'll block it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because it's not worth their time to pay somebody to go through all this stuff. You know what I mean? Or they're obviously sharing something with Google for it,
If enough people contest, then it becomes not worth it, you mean?
Right. And remember, too, in all this, and I don't ever want to paint Google as totally bad in any of the scenarios, because they're paying a shitload to, like, host this shit and stream the bandwidth and all that stuff.
They are not being evil, for sure. Always.
But you have to remember, it's in their best interest to have everything content ID matched, third party.
Of course, they got to cover their asses.
Right, because you, as a producer, can choose whether or not to monetize. But if it's a corporation, yes, A, you have your ass covered, and B, they'll always monetize.
Yeah, and because corporations are people, so.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there you go. But, there is that.
There is. This round seems to be affecting a lot more people than the last ones have.
Yeah, that guy, the Red Brad, got hit really hard.
Yeah. We were looking around the LP subreddit for the latest news.
That's where you get it, apparently.
Yeah.
SSOHPKC, I think, Seamus.
Yeah, he was getting hit as well. He seemed to have a pretty chill attitude about it.
Yeah.
Because I was cross-checking people getting affected with their Twitter accounts out of curiosity.
Yeah, exactly.
But then you got Darkside Phil, and you said that you told me he made a video recently about the affair, and he seemed kind of smug, like, this won't affect me.
It's as of December 8th.
Then I checked his Twitter, and he was kind of blowing a gasket about his Fallout 3 videos, GTA 5 videos, like a shitload of his stuff is apparently being matched to.
Yeah.
So which Darkside Phil should we believe?
He's a little all over the place, honestly. The thing is, you have to remember that perspective is always going to be DS positive.
Not entirely correct. Perhaps a little off in some way. A little wonky at times. A little fucked in the head. A little bit disturbed.
Who knows? But, yeah, he made a video about it. The Reddit's going nuts with, like, things like, why don't... Somebody blamed negative reviews about it, like review shows. Someone's like, it's the people who review these games, actually, like users, that give them negative reviews that make the game companies want to control this stuff, which is like, let's not go crazy here. And you know what I mean? Like, we don't want to, you don't want it to be a whole world where everybody just compliments every fucking video game because they're, you know what I mean, to appease them kind of thing,
Yeah. Well, actually, that's a fair thing to bring up, though, because I think reviews are being affected as well.
That's the whole problem with Content ID Match. It doesn't...
Yeah, it doesn't discriminate.
Yeah.
And reviews, I mean, they're reviews.
Yeah. Yeah, basically. I mean, reviews are most certainly covered under fair use.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would say Let's Fail probably is too. The code, like, let's just try it out for a little while kind of thing,
Sure.
Retsupurae, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
What do you call it? But, I mean, Let's Play is in that weird nebulous sort of area. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's an unprecedented thing.
It is, and...
There's no real legal precedent to look to.
And one thing I'd like to bring up, because I see people, they attempt to make distinctions between cutscenes in video games versus gameplay in video games. I really do not believe that any court in the U.S. would ever bother with that distinction. Unfortunately, people don't really, there's a lot of people in the legal system too who don't exactly understand video games, so I don't think they're going to bother with
Well, Justice Scalia is a diehard gamer, so I think he knows a thing or two.
And he hates cutscenes is the thing.
Yeah, he hates cutscenes. He's on Xbox Live all the time.
Right. Like, even if there is,
denouncing the gays and shit. Yeah.
Exactly. And even if there is a point to be made in the whole interactive versus non-interactive part of it, I'm not phrasing it like that to say that there isn't. I'm just saying that legally I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. But, even if you make that distinction, I don't think that would ever come into play, honestly. Like, I don't think an attorney would even bring it up. It would just be a matter of, is playing a video game different than streaming a movie to someone?
Right.
That kind of thing. And they're completely different animals, so who knows ultimately what it would be. But I don't think, like, well, the intro is not okay, but the fighting scene is kind of thing,
So the argument would come down to, is playing a game truly a transformative experience driven by the player?
I can see
Which is not the case with movies or listening to music.
Right, and I see that argument better in, like, multiplayer kind of stuff, because... and I don't mean co-op games like Left 4 Dead, but I mean like things like StarCraft 2 kind of games, like, where there really isn't much game without the play,
Mm-hmm.
But then you still have art assets, you still have music. I don't know, it's a tough thing, basically.
It is.
Absolutely. What are you doing? Are you microwaving something?
Turning down the air.
Oh my lord, what kind of fucking unprofessional podcast is this? We don't research topics. We don't have temperate climates.
That's exclusive to the people listening live. The people in post aren't going to get that nugget of gold. That's what you get with Retsu Premium. If you subscribe now for a nominal $20 a month fee, you'll hear me doing shit around the home while we podcast. You get a little behind-the-scenes look into my life.
I'm just going to stream myself at work, just so that you can just see me coding. That's all you need.
Yeah. So Retsu Premium, it's a thing. Do you think people will start moving to Twitch more? I know there's an argument about, like, use another video host, but then it's like, which one?
Yeah, that's where things get tricky. And
YouTube's got an effective monopoly on, like, any shit ever.
Video hosts, too, change their minds. Like, Vidler used to be okay with footage, but then Vidler decided, like, hey, we're not cool with free users anymore. You gotta pay us.
Hey, our site's going under. Help.
Yeah, Vimeo was completely dickish about the whole thing. Because they not only decided...
Quality content only, please.
And then, like, members of their...
Clink champagne.
Yeah, and then members of their staff were, no joke, like, mocking people who, like, upload video game footage. Like, wow, that's fucking professional. Good job, assholes. Blip has this... Blip is in an odd state now, where
Blip's seemingly random about who they keep and who they get rid of.
Well, I think part of it, too, is a numbers game, so I think if you're popular enough, they kind of just, like, look the other way. But if you're not, they're kind of like, well, I don't know if we should be hosting this or whatever.
I mirror our stuff on Blip still, but hardly anyone watches it on there anymore.
Yeah.
But we're still there.
Yeah. Well, then, like, these apps and websites support YouTube anyway, in terms of, like, embedding things automatically, blah, 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 so... it is pretty much that. Twitch, you're right, though. I mean, as far as streaming stuff is kind of the big player
Twitch,
there.
you can get the whole subscription model, which I'm still not sure how that works. And then people pay, is it like a one-time thing or like monthly to watch you and to chat?
It's monthly. Yeah. Well, it depends. You also can get get with an affiliate get affiliated, similar to how you can on YouTube, where you actually do get a cut of the ads. I've heard. I don't know what the threshold is for that or how many Twitch viewers, but I've heard people do get money off ads on Twitch at some point. As far as subscription, you basically set what you want what subscribers to see versus non-subscribers. So you could say, chat's off limits. You can say, they can't watch archive streams, but they can watch them live. Obviously, ads you don't get.
You can only use the most quality emoticons if you pay the $5 fee.
Yeah, basically, you get the custom emotes.
Oh, I'm sorry, you want a cat frowny face? Pay up, son.
The admins don't ban you. No, it's things like that. Yeah, but Twitch is odd too, right? Because, as I understood it, they had like a whole thing with Sony going where it's like, you can stream footage here, but then people were streaming using the PlayStation iToy, and they're like, okay, no, not that. They started, like, shutting them down.
Yeah, it's completely contrary to the PS4, though, because it has that share button right there. And so now they're suddenly saying, well, not everything.
Right, yeah, exactly. And Twitch, I don't quite understand what happens to you with Twitch. It's like sort of, there seems to be like sometimes it's one strike and you're just out. Or sometimes it's like, okay, you're on hiatus for like a month or something like that. You know what I mean?
Is even what we're doing right now acceptable? We're just streaming an image.
Probably not. No, no, it's a video game image is the thing. We're playing this game right now. The object,
a very slow-moving game.
The object is to keep the microphone on screen, and you are winning.
It's a very difficult Wheel of Fortune puzzle we're working on. I'm pretty sure this is not a word.
Just do some League of Legends and you're fine.
Okay.
Oh, that reminds me too, League of Legends apparently has new terms of service for if you decide to stream it at a professional level.
Define at a professional level.
If you're licensed with League of Legends.
If you're good at the game, you have to do stuff.
But they're no longer letting you stream other games before like the big League of Legends, I don't know, event happens.
So you're just supposed to stream the lobby you're in?
That's the thing, and people are complaining because, yeah, like those big events, apparently the lobby can take like up to half hour, 45 minutes before the game starts.
Half an hour?
So people would play like Hearthstone or something short before that, and now it's like, yeah, you're not allowed to do that, basically,
I've heard, isn't Blizzard not okay with that game being streamed or put on YouTube or monetized?
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm seeing something in chat here. This has been changed. You can stream other games, but you can't be sponsored by another company. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like NASCAR, companies sponsor the players?
Yeah.
Slap logos on their astronaut suits that they play?
Yeah. People are really trying to push to make esports like a thing, It kind of already is, and we're talking about like US, Europe and stuff, but like, the whole like StarCraft and Korea thing, it's huge there, Oh yeah. Like a real deal, like how we consider, more traditional sports, I guess.
NFL, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Or it's even like here, like I'm even like kind of pausing before like, do I call this a sport? You know what I mean? But
and oddly enough, same amount of concussions.
Right. But if you can call, I don't know, if you can call bowling a sport, or golf.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, you like?
Oh my god.
No.
It was in Wii Sports, Slow Beef. It counts.
You're right. I did forget that part.
Please.
I think though any sport where you could conceivably drink a beer and not have your play very well affected, that's. Like one or two, not like whatever. But or actually, Cherryton brings up good to it too, like poker. Like professional level poker is being like, broadcast.
You have to train a long time at a gym to get that face a poker face.
a poker mod.
Or a lot of plastic surgery.
Right, got it.
Yeah.
God almighty. I don't know. I do tournament level Cave Story now, so very niche market, but
Spelunky Death Roulette gambling is becoming a huge scene in Las Vegas.
I think yes, you're right, basically.
Yeah.
I got 42 on spikes.
42 on spikes, but I got 16 on Ticket Trap.
Sell. Wait, no, that's stocks.
Everybody runs into a phone booth.
The mobster's coming up to you like, you're going to die to the alien queen. Or else.
I think that was the case in L.A. Noire that you had to solve.
You know what would be great, actually, is if one of the Death Roulette was killed by mob. Like, it's in real life. They should just do Death Roulette with the YouTube celebrities, and you figure...
What do you think will do Total Biscuit and Slow Beef?
Crazed fan. Yes. And it'll be me. What else has been
What else we got on the docket?
Can I bring up something stupid and fanboyish on my part?
I wish you would.
All right. So I don't know if you saw, but Metal Gear Solid 5
yes.
has a Xbox 360 exclusive DLC.
Xbox One or 360 or both?
Excuse me. I don't know actually. I think it might be one. But somebody tweeted it to me because it's Snatcher DLC, and I'm a fan of that game.
I've heard.
It was funny because the way the trailer is set up, and I knew it was about Snatcher going into it, but they're like, Russian commercial airline crashed off the coast of Cuba, and I'm like, oh, they got the commercial airline right, nice, which I know is stupid, but that
Konami remembered their game.
I know. I'm
Amazing.
I'm surprised they did, frankly.
They did research on their history.
Well, it's an odd thing to make DLC about, too. It's like, how about that one game that failed miserably on a console no one remembers, but a couple jerks follow, almost religiously. But,
Slow Beef, answer me this.
Yes.
The healing item in the DLC, is it Neo Kobe pizza?
It would be Junker's Rush, actually. But in the trailer then, too, they're talking about, like, the Snatchers, and they're playing Creeping Silence, but, like, a rock version, and I'm just, like blowing up inside, like, yes, yes! And then they go, but we've got a weapon. And then, like, Big Boss holds up this gun, and I'm like, what, that gun? Like, that's a stupid weapon. Why would that fight Snatchers? But then they're like, a man from another world, and I nearly,
but then you're looking at it through that person's point of view.
I
think we both thought the same thing. We thought, oh my god, is it Gillian Seed?
I almost ejaculated through my eyeballs.
But then I thought about it, and then I was like, well, if they're talking about in terms of a weapon, I don't think a dopey detective what you would present as a weapon.
But I can't tell you because they were like, I didn't even think it through. Once they said a man from another world, I'm like, oh my god, yes. And then they're like, from a dark future in the split second before they show it, and I'm like, yes, yes, and then it's Raiden. I'm like, no, why? Damn it.
Well, all right.
Damn it. But I'm like, okay, well, Raiden's cool too, I guess. But yeah. So, and it's not even like sword slash through everything Platinum Games Raiden. It's it's Raiden with the machine gun Raiden, which I'm just like, eh.
So it's not Jack the Ripper, goofy mad voice Raiden.
I don't think. I mean, I'm sure that's gonna. Well, who knows nowadays? But I'm sure they'll have the same voice actor if there is any voice. But yeah, it's like, just give him the fucking trench coat at least. Something. Help me out here.
Maybe it'll be a pickup Easter egg thing.
I'm just gonna have to just hack together Metal Gear Solid 4 and this, and get the model for Metal Gear Mark II, and just set up my own little virtual diorama and watch it in the Oculus Rift. And see what I can do, and look up Gillian's skirt and all that. But by the way, that reminds me, a couple of people have linked to me Kickstarter, and this only has, I think, like a day and a half left on it. But there is a cyberpunk adventure called ROM, Read Only Memories, which is basically done in the vein of Snatcher, and they call out Snatcher a lot during it. So I was pretty interested in it, and I contributed to their Kickstarter there.
Nice. Nice.
Which is the first one I've ever done.
How's it feel?
It feels good. I sparked a little debate on my Twitter because the game is LBGT friendly, I guess. But they kind of call that out a few times in it, and it's just sort of like, well, why is that being called out exactly? You know what I mean?
I guess it's just a matter of, it shouldn't have to be called out, but it is, in fact, unique that it is.
Well, one of the things somebody on Twitter mentioned is like, they're like, look, I'm homosexual, but like I feel like I'm being kind of tokenized here.
Yeah.
Or it's like people are like kind of like, hey, we're friendly to the gays. Hey, gay people contribute to our Kickstarter kind of thing,
I gotcha.
So I get that. Doing more research about it, though, it appears that like the person behind the game is one of the founders of GamerX. The convention.
GamerX?
Like GAYMERX.
Oh, okay.
It's that convention that it's like more LBGT friendly PAX or what have you. Like just the polar opposite of PAX. No, all right, I'm sorry. So like I think that comes from those roots more than anything else, because he says like this isn't like a game that this isn't one of the major topics in the game or anything. It's just sort of there. So I mean, for me, my decision was just kind of like, well, you know what, I'd contribute if that weren't mentioned at all, I'd contribute to it. So who cares?
Yeah, regardless.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. Whatever. I'm done worrying about sex these days. I'm married. Get it? That's an old Married with Children joke. But anyway.
So that segues us into our awkward sex stories.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But anyway, this game's called ROM, Read Only Memories. It's on Kickstarter if you want to take a look and see if you want to contribute to it. Or hey, don't. Whatever.
There was a Kickstarter for an RPG game with a diabetic protagonist.
Did you feel pandered to there? Or?
I felt completely pandered to.
I would have.
I was like, look, I have the diabetic protagonist I need already.
Oh, man. What do you call it? Did you ever feel like you wished there were more diabetic protagonists or characters or representation in games?
Yeah, I feel pretty underrepresented out there.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Well, regardless.
Yeah.
You wanna do a little review of what we've done recently?
Oh, the retsupurae?
Yeah, because we've gone back to doing like sort of standard RPs now.
Some traditional stuff, yeah. After we finished Poor Core.
Yeah, and a lot of people, as much as I liked Urban Runner, but we've gotten a lot of positive feedback about it. So we're probably we're not abandoning Wrong Praise altogether, but
we do have a couple other ones in the works.
Yep.
Or lined up, as it were.
But it started with that Oculus Rift video.
Oh yeah.
Which we got some.
That was really sex negative of us.
We got some negative feedback there. Yeah. My favorite comment being, "Oh, like you weren't like really happy when you looked up the girl's skirt."
Wait, someone said that?
Yes. They basically were like, "Oh, come on, you weren't looking or whatever," which is like, "Oh man,
you had a boner situation. Admit it. I'm not the only one. You all did."
I was totally rubbing my crotch while making fun of the video. Yes. Oh dear.
I was wearing the Oculus Rift while I was watching the Oculus Rift video.
We had to redo that video too because apparently there was nudity in it where one of the body pillows was like a topless girl and such, and it's like, you liked it. You wanted to hide your shame, admit it. I don't know. It's funny because it's just like nowadays people sort of wear that type of thing on their sleeve, you know? Like, if you're
a lot of people define themselves by the littlest things that should not be identifiers of a person.
What's wrong with jerking off to anime girls? I do it. It's like, I don't need to know. You know, it's okay. Go do whatever you like, but I'm not gonna pretend that you're like this subjugated thing. I don't know.
I think people put it out there a lot because they want to feel like they're not alone and want to, fit into a community of some sort, belong with others like them.
That's fine, but like, let's not go into the whole everybody really does this kind of thing. That's crazy to me. I mean, I'm sorry. And also, let's just be honest here. Like, a lot of the stuff is put on YouTube specifically to attract viewers. You know what I mean?
Oh, what?
I know. Well, okay, like
holy shit.
That Skyrim video we did, remember with the mods and all that stuff?
Oh, yeah. You're saying that was clickbait?
Well, I don't know.
Master clickbait?
That was one in a series where a guy, he's reviewing Skyrim mods, and if one of them's naked chick armor, hey, like,
I'd like to content ID. I own the rights to those tits.
And I'll just put that in the YouTube custom thumbnail there. That's just totally a coincidence that it's in every video. Right. And then, but people, and they get mad at that too. It's like, that's my right. I can't.
You guys are so uptight, man.
It's like, I don't have enough time in my day. I need to get my rocks off and play Skyrim in the hour I have before.
Who doesn't love some pixelated TNA, right, bro?
I've only got half an hour before mom comes home and makes me do chores, so we got it. It's just more efficient, I guess.
Let's jerk off and play video games.
Let's do it.
Mods.
Especially multiplayer. That reminds me too, remember that there's that multiplayer MMO, it's like Scarlet Blade or something like that?
I remember the name, don't remember so much about what it is.
It's an MMO where you're playing as like these naked chicks or whatever, but it's like, do you really want to be talking to other people during this? Like,
but slow beef, all of them are avatars for real naked chicks.
I don't know.
They have to be, because otherwise it's dishonest and lying.
Right. I don't know. I guess maybe I'm just too old for this shit. I don't know. It's like a whole new fucking world out there. I don't understand anything.
A whole new utopian world? It's like the opposite of 1984, bro.
A paradise on Earth.
We're all wearing Oculus Rifts and jerking off and watching anime. Did I die and go to heaven?
Another notable one, by the way, was the Minecraft sex story thing.
Oh, yeah.
Which was great. But actually, Sibs, I don't know what it is about Minecraft videos, but whenever we
during the Retsu Blitz, we did a couple of Minecraft things, and I think both of them, either the user contacted us and was very angry about it, or they filed a copyright claim, which later got overturned.
Yeah, one guy did both.
But in this case, this has a happy ending, actually, but the guy messaged us and said, hey, you took my video, your commentary was that's kind of rude, I don't know what I ever did to you.
Yeah.
And then you replied to him, and we kind of went back and forth about it and said, no, it's, don't take it too seriously. We're just kind of having a laugh. It's no big deal. And then he messaged back and said, well, okay, I can kind of see how it would be more like a roast. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that's why they call me the negotiator. No,
You watched Ambition and learned from it.
No, he wasn't. You know what it was? He wasn't like the other people either, or the worst ones we've gotten to, where it was like,
oh yeah,
I'm gonna destroy you. You stole my video. It was more like, what the, I don't. I guess he kind of read it as insulting at first.
Yeah, I don't. Well, he didn't know what retsupurae was, so he kind of just took the video. When he saw his face value, and was like, "Hey, why'd you do that?"
Yeah, but then like I talked to him, and he was like, then he was totally cool. He's like, "Yeah, don't worry about it or whatever." So that's Subception. Subception. That's it. It's like Inception with CIB instead of IN. So yeah, he was totally cool about it. So crisis averted. But like you said, I don't know what the fuck it is about Minecraft, but holy shit. People get... it's funny too, someone I saw on the Reddit, subreddit thing was like, I don't really care about this copyright ID stuff because Let's Plays are terrible. And then someone goes, you just haven't seen the good ones. Try watching some Minecraft Let's Plays. Like, no!
That's your baseline?
No!
No.
Come on! Damn it! But...
Imagine a world where Notch decided to accept all the money from Minecraft videos and Content ID matched all of that. Imagine...
I'm stunned he didn't. I still am. I'm just like, that's almost $100,000 there. No, I'm kidding. But, no, I mean, I think he probably did really well, though, with Minecraft sales.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
What is the, how much is Minecraft again? It's like 10?
Can't be much now.
Nah.
10 to 15?
Something like that. I still never played it,
$1,000?
Yeah, maybe. What else did we put up?
There was that Castlevania thing.
Oh, yeah. That guy was really nice, too, actually.
Yeah, he was very nice about it. He replied back and he was like, I don't know why more people didn't point out the flaws with the video sooner.
I'll tell you why. But no, that's the whole issue, right? Is that everybody wants it to be a big hug box, and when no one watches their videos, they're like, what did I do wrong? And it's like, oh, yeah, everything. Again. No, I mean, yeah, he was a nice guy. It's funny, though, because we didn't notice when commenting over the video until later that, yeah, it was 1280 by 540 original resolution.
Yeah, I think it was when we were putting the video together and I looked up what the resolution was and was like, wait, is that right? Is that possible?
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, I remember, and I saw it in the source video, too, because it was like, okay, wait, let's just start here. Not quite 480, not quite 720, but closer to 480. And then you have that many pixels to work with, but you somehow miss a lot of the Castlevania ones. How?
So that's why the game was very hard to read.
Right. Oh, it's just crazy on a million levels, too. And that one, you absolutely don't have to block the game with the scare cam.
No, it's necessary.
You have so much fucking space to work with. Mario Man 105291. But yeah, I mean, yeah, once he was just like, yeah, just kind of, I guess he'll do better videos in the future, or ones that don't have that problem, at least,
And then the other two were, there were three other ones. There was the Dark Souls thing, Tattoo Assassins, which I think we might do a companion video to.
Yes.
And the Spelunky thing.
Yes. Well, Tattoo Assassins, I think, is possibly my new favorite fighting game.
Yeah. I'm surprised that's not at EVO.
Yeah, and I think, did we talk about the story of it in the video itself?
Was there a story?
No. Well, there is, actually.
Oh, you mean the story of how the game...
Yes.
I thought you meant the story of the game itself.
I know that, though, the story of the game itself, too. Well, I'll tell you the story of the game itself, though, which is apparently there's this magical ink that will briefly turn into living creatures when applied as a tattoo on people. And, it's Yes?
The people that the tattoo gets applied to turn into monsters, or the tattoos themselves sprout out and become monsters?
Well, the ink's magical properties of turning into monsters, and more than just monsters, mind you, only works after it's tattooed on someone.
So you have to hope someone's going to come into the tattoo parlor and say, I want tiger stripe tattoos all along my legs. And then the guy, oh my god, but you're going to turn into a monster if I do that.
Well, if you remember, there's that, okay, there's, the ink is under guard by this group called the Color Guard, which are like these monks in different robes that change colors. And they elect Koldan as their leader to guard the monstrous tattoo ink. But then Koldan decides he wants to use the magic ink to kill humans and replace them with some other species.
Of all the things to put magical properties into, why tattoo ink?
You know, I guess you just don't understand how magic works.
Why not like a hat or a shirt?
Because hats are so cliche. The wizard.
Yeah, but they're so easy to put on. Tattoos, those take time. And you have to be artistic to apply them.
Hey, if you want to learn magic, you gotta fucking commit, dude.
I mean, what if you use the tattoo ink, but your tattoo turns out kind of shitty? Do you become a shitty monster? Like if you tattoo a Bible verse and misspell a bunch of stuff, what happens?
Beats me. But you remember the guy at the beginning of the game, who had the bottle of ink? He was like a little short, fat guy who didn't have anything to do with the game. He's controlling the other tattoo assassins who you play as, and apparently after you beat each fighter, you gain their tattoo. And the game,
Wait, how does that work?
I don't know.
You skin them and tape it on your skin?
The game apparently...
I have questions.
The game apparently, though, has over 2,000 fatalities in the advertisement, but really doesn't. And a lot of them are, like, just obviously like, recycled, you know, kind of things.
So, did we ever figure out the story of Prism?
No. The breakout character.
Literally.
So bad. What was the point?
And I want to know what he says at the end.
I do too, but we never find out, sadly.
No, we never do.
I'm sure he doesn't speak, if you want to know the truth. But
he's too depressed.
I would be too.
Yeah.
That's the thing. A lot of the bosses actually don't have tattoos, so I don't even know how the hell, you know. Prism doesn't.
A lot of holes in that game. But there's another video that showcases more of the fatalities, which I'm sure they're not called that.
Right. No. But we'll do that one too.
Yeah, probably do that one.
Absolutely. We have plans.
We do.
You might see an old series of videos come back. I don't know. We'll see how that goes.
You're gonna redo Metroid Prime?
No. Yes.
Okay. Good.
That's it from me. I don't have anything else.
That's all we got. There's also the Dark Souls video and Spelunky video.
Oh.
Not sure there's much to say about either though.
No. I am interested now to actually play Dark Souls for myself, though, and see what all the hubbub's about.
I'm interested to get your thoughts on the game, and to see if you find it overwhelming.
I don't know. I mean, I could stream it, I guess, but I don't know. I feel like that's a little cliched.
I think for a first-time player of Dark Souls, the atmosphere of the game is so good that just playing it is just insanely immersive, and I think that's the best way to go about it. But if you want to blind stream it and have people guide you, you can do that too.
Well, I'll tell you what I know from the beginning of it. It starts off in like a tutorial area kind of thing, like
in a prison,
asylum kind of thing, yeah. And then you get out to the main world or whatever. So I don't know. We'll see. I do also have it spoiled that there is an input queue as far as controls go.
An input queue?
Like if you hit square 3 times, like if you mash on square like 8 times, even if you get hit or whatever, like after the second attack, your character will do the other 6 no matter what.
Ah, right.
Yeah, so it's not like a game you can button mash or like...
No, you have to pay attention and develop a strategy and react accordingly.
But I also have Arkham Origins at home, so I gotta play that too.
Are you liking Arkham Origins?
Yeah.
Do you agree with any of the negative press it's gotten? Or reviews, rather?
The only thing that bugs me, which I read in the reviews, the bridge is really annoying. There's like a bridge separating parts of Gotham at the beginning before you can fast travel there. And it's a long bridge, and I really don't want to cross it again.
So 2 out of 10?
I guess so. Free flow combat seems mostly the same right now. I haven't unlocked too much with it. And free flow combat was my favorite part of both the other games.
Is it about as smooth as it was in Arkham City?
Yeah, but I don't know. I think I'm a little rusty because the whole countering system, there's like a gamble to it that you take where it's like, okay, I could counter him and interrupt what I'm doing, or I think I have just enough time to hit him before the attack comes out. And in Asylum and City, it felt more like about crowd control and like knowing trying to keep people in a certain like relation to where you are. And I guess it hasn't changed, except I feel like the opening level, it was a little more like the beginning of Asylum, where it's like in rooms, so you don't have as many moves unlocked, there aren't different type of things, you know, so I want to play it some more. Right now, though, it feels the same. I feel like it has a worse opening than Asylum or City did. Like, Asylum opens, you bring in the Joker, it's got, like, good atmosphere and things like that, and you know what I mean?
Sure.
City opens with, like, Bruce Wayne getting arrested, and it kind of works. Here, it's like, this guy got kidnapped, he's in a prison, go save him. It felt like,
It's a little more underwhelming of an opening.
Yeah, it feels different, and it's hard for me to put my finger on why. Aesthetically, it seems the same. Gameplay, it seems the same. It's just, something's not right about it, and I'd like to play more of it because I'm having trouble deciding what it is. That said, I don't agree that it was terrible or anything like that. You know, I think it's a buy if you like the first two games, certainly.
Do you feel like it's kind of samey with City, with it being open world? Kind of sort of the same, sort of go on a mission here, fly around.
Do you know what kind of bugs me about it? It's very odd because this worked better in Arkham City because you're in this closed off section of the city with prisoners. So you're flying around and it's like there's people to beat up and you know they're criminals. Here you're flying around and there's people to beat up and you know they're criminals, but they shouldn't be. It's a city. Like where is everybody who's not breaking the law around here? You know what I mean?
Wasn't the setup that there's a severe snowstorm and so everybody's staying inside except the criminals?
Oh, maybe I missed that part of the intro or something. It's Christmas Eve, too, I guess, in the game, so...
Right, and on Christmas Eve, everybody stays indoors, and they have no urge to go out or do any last-minute shopping or anything, because they're done. Everyone.
It's just it's a silly thing, and I guess I can just chalk it up under a story gameplay disconnect, but it is just a thing where, like, Arkham City, it made more sense and felt...
Yeah, Arkham City had more of an excuse, because,
exactly.
It's a criminal city.
Yeah, you're in a quarantine zone, it makes sense. Here it's just, like, odd. I don't know. Or, like... there was a random crime in progress I went to, and they were SWAT officers. So I beat them up, because they were bad guys, and the game was telling me to, but I'm like, were they dressed up as SWAT officers? Is this like a character model from later in the game? I don't understand. Like, what's happening?
Look, Batman is kind of a noob at that point in the game, so not all the information's there for him, okay?
That's the other thing. I don't like prequels in general. And the cool thing about Arkham City and Asylum is they play around with, like, some of the Batman lore. So, you know, who knows, maybe this character might, like, die or something will happen to them, you know, that's permanent, that kind of thing. But then with a prequel, you know that's not going to happen, so who cares?
Have you done anything with the new detective mode?
Yeah.
Crime scene breakdown and all that?
Yeah, it's not as... Maybe... I only did the first one, which is like, bomb went off, blew a guy across the room, figure out where his card key went, which is like...
His car key went?
Card. Like...
A card. Card key. So the card key was behind it and you had to arrest it?
Yes, basically.
Yeah.
It's just... I was just kind of looking at that like, you know, it's alright. It's a neat idea. Maybe later sections do it better or something, but I wasn't too impressed with that, honestly. I never really cared for the stealth too much in the Arkham games. Like, I didn't mind it. It was well done, but just, I liked the combat better. Although, that said, the Mr. Freeze fight in City was amazing.
It was.
Yeah, no, absolutely was. I just, the whole prequel thing, like, I kind of know where it's going. It's kind of neat because the flavor text is talking about, did you hear about this Bat guy kind of thing, but I don't know. I don't see why it just couldn't have been a sequel. There's also, as you know, a lot of C-list villains this time, which I don't really mind. But it's like, oh, this assassin Shiva, you're gonna have trouble with her, and it's like, who the fuck is she? Isn't that Final Fantasy thing? Sure?
It's the summon spell, the ice goddess.
Yeah, is that actually something from Hinduism? Or I can't believe I went to the video game first, but whatever. Regardless, it's Copperhead and Bane again. All right, I don't know. But I still like it. I know I sound like I'm really down on it. It's like, but it's more of the same, but I think the originals were solid enough to carry it through a third iteration.
I gotcha.
Yeah. That's it from me, really.
I'm not currently playing any games after I finished GTA 5. Been playing some Spelunky off and on, but that's all I got. I'm out of games. I need to play Risk of Rain, actually.
Can I bring up one thing that Cherry Doom brought it up, by the way? Before we go, because I do have to go.
All right.
She's currently streaming. I think she's still streaming. She's streaming Arkham City now. Finished Asylum.
Oh, nice.
So fucking bad at free flow combat. I want to scratch my eyes out. It's like, don't just mash square. Like, it was killing me. But I just I'm still getting used to it in City, but it's like, no, counter. God damn it. Like, she just keeps punching, and then she gets punched, and I'm like, what are you doing?
You criticize other people's gameplay now, but wait till people watch you play Dark Souls.
I know. I got enough shit for streaming in general, so I'm allowed to give some out.
True.
No, it's yeah. It's just free flow is very easy to win, but it's a lot. It's hard to like.
You just got to get into that rhythm.
It's the thing. You got to slow it down, and it's more about crowd control, and it's a lot more fun because then
it's a delicate dance.
It's more. But to be fair, too, I don't know if I could talk during doing.
So take some dance classes, is what I'm saying.
I think that's in general.
It'll help you with your poise.
Yeah. All right.
We Retsu spoke.
Absolutely. Alrighty. That's a wrap.
I believe that is a wrap.